the, oh, recording is in progress. I'm going to post in the chat the issues and the breakout rooms, so you can select which one you want to go into. Okay, so we've got our 4 breakout groups, and just what's going to happen is you're going to go into the groups. You're going to have about 12 to 15 minutes to discuss, and the instructions are also on the Jamboard. Feel free to use the Jamboard to you make some to organize your group if that's helpful. But as a group, just talk amongst yourselves, share your experiences with this issue, and discuss some strategies and some interventions that you've tried, and try to summarize the 3 main points with the larger group. These can be interventions, they can be strategies, or they can even be, you know, as a group, you might arrive to a place that's like, well, actually, this is really hard and I haven't figured out how to resolve this issue. We want to hear that and share that with each other. So again, you'll have about 12, 15 minutes to discuss. And before you wrap up, please identify one person to share out with the larger group. So the key is in the chat. If you want to talk about classroom teachers, go to breakout room 1. If you want to talk about lack of interest from students, go to breakout room 2. If you want to talk about logistical and organizational difficulties, check out group 3. And if you want to talk about safety in the classroom, check out group 4. Sound good? Okay, awesome.
Everybody knows the breakout room. There's a little square on the bottom of the screen to get to the breakout room joining place.
Well, I don't see that yet. Where?
It's on the very bottom of your Zoom frame.
This one, got it. Yep.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks. So how do you know? Is it go start at the bottom, 1, 2, 3? Okay, I'll figure it out.
The rooms have numbers, and then it's room 1, room 2, 3. You got it. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, so once again, room 1, as Rose said, is the role of classroom teacher. So join room 1 if you'd be interested in that. Room 2 is lack of interest from students. So please join room 2 if that's what you want to participate in. Room 3 is logistical and organizational difficulties. You can join that one if you're interested. And then room 4, which we haven't gotten anyone to join yet, so please check that out, is lack of existing safety. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Ro.
How are you doing, Jess?
I'm doing well. This is such a great session. The Jamboard is amazing. I want to utilize that going forward. It was so easy to interact with, and I'm glad that everyone was so participatory in it.
Yeah, it seemed like people caught on or were comfortable with it already. But I love it. It's just a big virtual post-it wall.
It's so nice. It's how my brain works. So I was like, this is fantastic.
Yes. Exactly, same here. And let me see, how are our breakout rooms looking? Looks like no one's in room 4.
Yeah, that's the only one. Everyone else is pretty evenly distributed. Room 1 is getting the most interest. So I'll leave it up to you. Right now, we are the ones being recorded. We can always edit this out. It's not a big deal. Do you want me to hop into these rooms and record them? Do you want me to give them more privacy? It's entirely up to you.
I don't think they as much, well,
They'll get a little announcement when I jump in and I'll be like, this is recorded. So I don't
Yeah.
want to be unnecessarily disruptive, but if they're also sharing good ideas, it might be a nice thing. So entirely up to your discretion.
I think as long as we're, I think I'd like to leave them unrecorded, and then we'll record the full group share outs. So to give them some room to just kind of figure things out.
Fantastic. I'm just going to make a note to edit our chat out. So don't worry about that.
Okay. I'm gonna hop around to some of these rooms.
Great.
And I'll see you in a little bit.
See you in a little bit. Thank you. Hello, all. If you're just joining us, please feel free to jump into one of the breakout rooms. The topics that will be discussed in those. Number 1, group 1 rather, is role of classroom teacher. Breakout room 2 is lack of interest from students. Breakout room 3 is logistic and organizational difficulties. And breakout room 4 is lack of existing safety. So please feel free to self-assign and join any of those breakout rooms. Thank you so much. Hi, Scotty. I see that you're on camera. Would you like to be moved into one of the breakout rooms to participate in the discussions? Oh, pardon. I can't unhear you. I can't hear you. You're on mute. I'll message you in the chat. Thank you. Hi again, Scotty. Are you having some technical difficulties?
Oh, I always have.
You're
If you can see me, you know I have enough gray hair to be in big trouble trying to do this. And I turned 80 this week, so
congrats. Wait, when was your birthday?
August 3rd.
Okay,
Now-
that is my mother's birthday, and I'm August 8th, so happy birthday.
Well, you just had one too.
Yes, yeah.
A good Leo, I can tell you. You reached out to me like this person is enjoying what there's. I would like to join the one about administrative problems. That's not quite what you were saying, but
Is it logistic and organizational difficulties?
yes.
I will pop you over there right now.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. All right.
Hello? Can anyone out there hear me?
Yes, is this Robert Evans?
Well, actually, that's my husband. He set up Zoom, so it always looks like it's Robert, but it's me. I'm Jane.
Hi, Jane. How are you doing today? Would you like to be assigned to a room?
Well, I just now logged on, and I really don't know what's going on. They didn't send me the info so I could do Tuesday, and anyway, but I'm here. I know there's not much time left. What are the other rooms?
Pardon me, that's my timer. So we're going to be probably wrapping up in a minute. But it's role of classroom teacher, lack of interest from students, logistic and organizational difficulties, and lack of existing safety.
Huh. Well, those don't really all apply to me, but lack of existing safety involves what?
That they ended up creating a board for just to talk about basically uncomfortableness that students may experience, bullying, physical fights, things like that. But I would suggest, since we're closing so soon, it might be worth it just to wait in this room, and Ro is going to come back and give more of their presentation.
Okay.
All
So
right.
I'm new to Zoom. I don't really know how to do this. Do I move myself to a breakout room, or do I just stay where I am right now?
You can stay where you are right now, and yeah, you can choose to come on camera if you want to. The session is being recorded.
Okay.
But since we're having folks return, what we'll do is just put everybody on mute, and then if you have questions, you can drop them in the chat for Ro.
Okay.
All right.
All right. And are you Jessica?
I am indeed Jessica, yes.
Okay. All right. I'll just sit tight and wait for the screen to do its thing.
Awesome. Sounds so good. Thank you, Jane.
Thanks.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Ro. How you doing?
Good. I couldn't figure out how to get back to the main room, although I just did. But did you see that I broadcast a message to everyone? And
Yes, you were perfect. You closed it out. It was wonderful. I was assisting folks here who wanted to be assigned later on in the room. So good teamwork. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right, so we're coming back into the main room. I got to pop into all 3 breakout rooms and hear a little bit of the discussion. Thank you all so much for bringing your contributions. We're just gonna have a quick share out of our 3 issues. And again, you're welcome to share strategies and interventions or really sticky points that are unresolved. Try and keep it to 3 main points just for time. And we'll go first with group 1, who discussed the role of the classroom teacher. So oh, and I just want to say, everyone's going to get this Jamboard, so don't feel like you have to share out everything that you talked about. Just share your 3 most salient points with everyone. So issue 1, talking about the role of the classroom teacher. You've got about 2 minutes to share.
Okay, 2 minutes, Ro, I got it. If I could invite everybody just to look at the Jamboard while we're talking about it, it might help. Issue 1, role of the classroom teacher. A lot of our discussion came back to that the issues that arise with working with classroom teachers arise because of the quality of the planning, the lack of planning, how clear we are at the beginning of the process about what the expectations are. Have classroom teachers self-selected? Do they know what's going to happen? Do they know that they have a voice in what's going to happen? To what extent do they have a voice? Some programs are kind of already worked out, and there isn't a lot of room to suddenly make it about what the classroom teacher wants it to be about. You know, if it's centered on a work of art that already has its own, existence that we're exploring. So could we move that Jamboard over to the next, the one that's on the screen, just so everybody can see? Thank you. So most of the issues tended to fall into that issue of, or the place to solve the issues tended to be in the early discussion, the first planning. We talked about, I want to look at the Jamboard too, talked about surveying teachers, possibly observing teachers, inviting them in just to make them feel a part of the community and make them, be interested as much as we can, engaging them so that they know what kind of power they bring and how much they affect the learning process for their students and our ability to be effective. They just have a tremendous influence on that. Okay, group, what have I left out that you want to make sure we get in there? Mostly it was just emphasis on planning and clarity at the beginning so that the thing can fall out in a manner that is good for everybody and best serves the students, making that part of the discussion. That's 2 minutes.
Thank you, Daniel. That's as an administrator and a program manager, I can say that like the difference between like a hearty setup meeting where everybody leaves with an idea of what's going to happen and residencies where that doesn't happen is huge. So a lot can really, I think, if there's one takeaway tool for involving classroom teachers and making sure that they're respected and that they have a presence in the project, it's your introduction. All right, let's move on to group 2, which was discussing a lack of interest from students.
So we talked about there were a couple of different art forms and a couple of different types of settings that were present in the TAs in our groups. And the main thing that we want to really think about is taking the barometer of the students in the room. Sometimes things are out of your control in terms of when the class has to occur, if what age students are in the class, if the students must take the class. We just don't have any control over that. However, Cleveland mentioned that there was a class that she was teaching, a poetry workshop that was scheduled for the last section of the day on Friday. And so the students were tired and just kind of not into it. But because she'd asked them, hey, what do you need from me? How are you all feeling? They had a chance to kind of speak out. This is our experience right now in this moment. This is what I'm feeling. And then we can kind of the class could then move past that joint feeling. She also mentioned that she liked doing like some sort of physical relaxation to kind of get them outside of their headspace, to kind of get them just kind of moving and in the moment. And then also even included sometimes just a poetry reading, not when they had to stand up and share or write, but rather they got a chance to just sit and listen. Again, just to kind of flush their brain from whatever may have been happening before. We also talked about the process of if you have different age groups within a certain context, and kind of how to manage that if you're in a more open setting, like a museum or something where someone's kind of walking through and different groups of students just kind of walking through. Having a couple of different types of activities to give students a little bit of choice. So everybody might be building a widget, but maybe you can make your widget more complicated or less complicated based on your interest in the age of the student. Or if there's a chance for one person to make a widget and one person to write a song about a widget, or one person can build a widget and the other person can build a Zuzad. If they just have a chance to make a little bit of choice there, it can kind of help the process.
Ashley, I'm gonna invite you to share one more thing and then we have to move on.
Sure, that's it. And the last thing, oh wait, I can't find my notes. The last thing was just really thinking about using things I already care about and shifting those into the thing they need to teach. So kids are really into TikTok right now, but maybe I can use something from TikTok to help get them into a place where we're going to learn the Manjani or some other West African dance form. That's it.
Thank you, Ashley, in group 2. I also just want to lift up something, an overall theme in this group, which was flexibility. So like, we're reworking our ideas based on what we're getting back from the students. We're reworking our ideas of like what dance is and reworking their ideas of what dance is so that they know that just a simple movement is all that's required of their participation. All right, we're gonna scooch right on over to group 3, who were discussing issues around logistics and organization. Again, just a couple minutes to share, please. Go right ahead.
Hi, I'm Alan. First, everyone was so enthusiastic about their art form, and everybody wanted to share. That says so much for all of us, that we really want to see, again, coming back into the schools and bringing teaching artists to offer what they have to present. We were talking about, first of all, getting into the schools. It's been very challenging right now, and Ro had also offered some of her suggestions and her insights at the end of our talking with each other. We're having a lot of issues with the sizes of school systems, the way to get into the school through a principal or through contacts with teachers. It's a very difficult time. The security issues are also related in here, getting COVID testing and also having fingerprinting and security concerns with police enforcement, the whole bit. It's not an easy time to get into the schools now. And also probably with private schools, it might be a little bit easier, but still it's going to be challenging. Then you also you're competing with all the difficulties that teachers are going through, the hybrid teaching, the feelings that teachers have to make up for time where students have lost for almost 2 years of developmental growth in their own classrooms, and bringing in somebody from the outside. Some might consider that as being a disruptive nature of what is going on in the school. Schools are really concerned with their own maintaining their own programs. And then managing one's own program. It's hard to be a manager, create your program, and present your program. And I know from my experience that this is not always the easiest thing to do. You only have 24 hours in a day, and you have to decide where you want to spend most of the effort of your, where you want to take your program and how to grow it and present it. Anybody else from the group that wants to add anything that I may have forgotten? Well, thank you.
Thank you, Alan, and thank you, Group 3. You tackled a big one, which is all the, we know that it's not easy to, there's a lot of work that goes into it before you even can get into the classroom. And sometimes you're doing that work and sometimes a manager is doing that work. So thank you for delving into some of those issues and challenges. Jess, you can stop sharing screen now so we can be in gallery, if you please. So I just want to close with an offering for you all as coming from my practice as a teaching artist and also as a manager, which is just a question, which is, what does success look like if it's not how you originally planned it? So how can you experience success in a residency even if the project that you thought was going to be completed by the end isn't completed? This is a question that I would ask teaching artists and program managers just to recenter in what you're doing. And I think the way you can get to the answer in that question is to go back to your values and what brings you to this work. Even if you don't end up making a single piece of visual art, you are you're a trusted adult that is maybe bringing an alternative way of relating to kids into their space and into their week. Even if you start a project but you don't finish it, you're still giving kids tools to deepen their artistic practice. So I think at the end of the day, we're moving with our values, we carry these with us, and no matter the challenges that we face in classrooms, we know that we're moving with integrity because we're moving from a values forward place. I'm going to turn it over to Jamie, but thank you all so much for bringing your everything to this meeting. I really appreciate getting to be in a Zoom room with all of these wise and wonderful teachers. And I'll hand it over to Jamie.
Thank you, Ro. That was terrific. And I feel like there's so much, I wish we had so much more time because I feel like there's so much that can be discussed and shared amongst these groups. So, hopefully there's opportunities to do that even after this 2-day retreat, because supporting each other and sharing with each other is so important. So thank you all. Thank you, Ro. Thank you all for attending the session today. I hope you enjoyed the group conversations and being together and talking through some of these things, and maybe you walked away with some strategies and tools that you can take back into your own practice. But before we end, we are going to have a little survey that's going to pop up. You've probably seen them before if you've attended any other sessions. It's just a few questions, just checking in to see what you thought, getting some feedback from you. And so wanted to put that up there. And while you're filling it out, you just want to give a shout out again to all the folks, all the Mid-Atlantic states, all the state arts agencies that are participating, and really the team that helped put all this together. We just want to acknowledge and thank them, as well as our national supporters, the National Endowment for the Arts and the National Assembly of State Arts Agencies. And certainly do not want to forget, and I have it here in the chat to send to all of you, just a reminder about this new Mid-Atlantic Teaching Artists Innovate and Create Award. The link is right there to the application. The application will be on the website. It's not there yet, the Mid-Atlantic Retreat website. It will be there along with the recordings of the sessions that we were able to record during these 2 days. But in the meantime, there's the link. It's a Google form. It's super straightforward, but certainly if you have questions, let us know. And thank you all so much again. And hopefully we'll see you at one of the upcoming sessions in the next round. So thank you so much. Have a good one.